Let's get straight to the point. I mean, one of the topical issues at the moment is what's going on within the Patriotic Front and members putting dirty linen out in public. Let's get your comment on this. I know you briefly spoke about it on your social media platforms and, avoiding to get into personalities. But what's your take on the current situation with those who are seemingly going on at each other within the party?
So if you remember, one of the threats to the survival of the Patriotic Front has always been the internal wrangling and internal fights. You remember at the height, I think, of President Satta's government, there were factional battles in the party, one led by Honorable GBM and the other led by Winter Kavimba. So that driven the party right to the middle. And the wrangles have never really left the Patriotic Front. It's one of the weaknesses. We saw in the run-up to elections, leaked audios, voice notes, and members literally ripping each other apart, forgetting that they have an external opponent in the UPND where the energy should have been directed to than the internal wrangling. And they say when families fight, the battle is bloody because families don't fight well. They know each other's secrets, they know each other's weaknesses, and just the damage to reputation that is done. And that's why I like your question on conflict resolution and conflict management. What is the purpose? Of course, the purpose for conflict resolution is to resolve any disagreement, any conflict in an amicable manner. You reach out a settlement that brings both parties together, addresses their concerns, but looks at the bigger picture. In this case, the unity of the Patriotic Front. So I hope that the leadership, especially the Acting Secretary General, Honorable Nixon Chilangwa, can call these parties that are involved in this wrangling and set them aside from the public, understand the depth of their differences, and bring an amicable solutions. Because when leaders fight, their followers also fight. And, then it destabilizes the party. Then you forget the reason you exist. You forget the reasons why you are there as a vehicle to serve the people of Zambia.
And speaking of building the party, do you think these audios leaking from different members of the party will have a major impact, negative impact on the rebranding of the Patriotic Front?
In fact, you know what we need now? A social media policy. Many companies, especially the corporates, are beginning to enact social media policies, adopt social media policies, because it's a new menace. We don't know, it's around 10 years old. And people just don't know the effects and impact of social media. So sometimes even an organization like the Patriotic Front might need a social media policy that guides what you can say on social media blogs, what you cannot say, what's punishable, what's not punishable. You can even actually go to the level of even controlling your administrators of the social media blogs. If it's workplace related, you know that you can't post nudity, you can't post violence, so you gauge what you can post. Social media is a new menace we need to understand. And even in the Patriotic Front, we may need a social media policy.
That with the social media policy, obviously, that would be an interesting implementation of the party. Obviously, you're talking about making punishments for members who will be erring in such a manner. But these are politicians. You are politicians, and you love to speak out. So do you think this would be an effective suggestion for politicians like yourselves who love to speak and air out how you feel?
Well, speaking, freedom of expression and freedom of even social media has bounds and limitations. It's not endless. So I can't post pornography and nudity on a political blog. You are insulting families. Some are young children. Some have those phones shared even with spouses or with children. So there are certain things that are just a no-go area, even when you have a fundamental right to express yourself. The insults, again, you know how much they injure people. And people worry about their own character and their good reputation, and they don't want that to be injured. So for me, I'm exploring ways of dealing with social media because it's a new menace. You really have to find a solution. You just can't stand by. this particular wrangle has been fueled by a leaked audio that has gone viral, where everyone is listening. And those affected feel obliged to respond because they need to protect their integrity. They need to protect their reputation. And then the wrangling escalates. Because social media is like newspapers. People forget it's public gallery. If you're on social media, whatever you post, you have no control of how far it will go.